Matt, do you ever go to a hotel and thinking, like, man, this price per night is pretty insane. I'm not using the business center. I'm not using the pool. I just need a place to lay down at night that's mostly clean.
No, because I almost always need to send a fax. I need to fax something from the business center.
From the business center.
No, you're right. I mean, there's oftentimes, especially as a single person, I am just like basically what you just said, crashing, and that's it.
Right.
It's like,
right.
Even if it doesn't have a fridge, it's like I can ice down this beer that I've brought to drink alone at this hotel. I don't need that many accommodations. But I guess you could say the ice is a decent accommodation too.
Right.
At a hotel. So, all right, undecided. Where's this going?
Okay, so around a dozen of hotels are saying, hey, let's do things a la carte so that people get what they want, and hopefully it will allow guests to get rooms at a cheaper rate. You get a room and, oh, we brought the kids, so we're going to need the pool. Okay, that's going to be $25. Or you want to check in early? That's $20. Or you want to check out late? That's $20. Oh, you want to use the gym? $25. You know what I mean?
Yeah, interesting. Continental breakfast, maybe the same way.
Right. I think I kind of like that idea. You know, we booked, and some airlines are starting to do the same thing too. We booked a trip for our family of 4, and we got it really like dirt cheap because we're not checking a bag, we're not doing carry-on, we're allowed a personal item, and we think we can all like carry a book bag and call it good.
Yeah.
So we got really cheap flights round trip. And so I think Spirit Airlines is who started charging people for carry-ons in 2010. And so I feel like it's kind of not snowballed. That makes it sound like it's happening fast, but it's kind of other people are catching on. So if you just need a flight, you don't need, to pick your seat. You don't need to check a bag. Why are you paying the same price as somebody who is?
Sure. And well, especially with a hotel, oftentimes you're at a hotel in a place that you're visiting, and it might be nice to check out the local breakfast fare, for example. So I want to hit up the local breakfast spot. I want the local breakfast joint, not the, powdered eggs.
Right.
Even though it's like, oh, I can make my own waffle.
How long have these hard-boiled eggs been here?
Oh, God.
Yeah. I feel like continental breakfast hard-boiled eggs are about as dangerous as gas station hard-boiled eggs. No?
I don't know. Have I seen hard-boiled eggs at a hotel? I don't know that I have.
Oh. Well, apparently I'm going to the fancier joints, Matt.
No kidding.
Comfort Inn.
Make it rain with whatever hotel Kate's going to.
No, they have hard-boiled eggs on the continental breakfast.
Okay.
Where you can just grab it. Yeah.
I may have just overlooked them because to me, the other I like a hot breakfast.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think they're closer to like the yogurt, people only.
The yogurt area. Yogurt, granola, cereal area.
Yeah.
That's the other thing I don't get. It's like having cereal at the hotel. But yeah, this idea where you just buy the amenities that you need, that's great.
Yeah. Isn't that a good idea?
Just curious how they enforce that. Like maybe you get a special card key that gets you into not just your room, but also into the swimming pool or the weight room.
The business center.
Or the business center so you can send your important facts.
Right.
Yeah.
You can check your email.
Yeah, check your email. That's going to cost you. Yeah, Wi-Fi. That would make sense. A lot of people do have enough unlimited data on their phone. You could charge for Wi-Fi too.
Yeah. But I think, do they keep the business center operational?
I love that you keep on mentioning the business center.
I mean, do they keep it operational because people need to print their their airline tickets? You know what I mean?
Well, a lot of people still like to print things,
Right.
that aren't necessarily required.
But what do you print when you're at the hotel?
What would you? I don't know. Maybe you need to print off a manuscript and then mark it up or something.
Do you need to print out your MapQuest directions to the local breakfast spot instead of using your phone.
Right. Yeah, I don't need the continental breakfast, but I need access to the business center. That way I can pull up MapQuest and print off my map to the local breakfast joint. Yep.
Oh my gosh. I just wonder, like, what are primarily people doing in the business center? I would think that if you're staying at a hotel a little bit lengthier, like more than just a weekend,
yeah,
maybe you would need access to a printer, like if you're working. I don't know.
I think the printer actually I think the printer makes more sense than like dedicated computer stations.
Right?
If you have access to print to it from Wi-Fi or whatever.
Yeah. So I think hotels should definitely catch on. Like this should be a thing. But I always think that housekeeping should be included in your room price.
Oh,
that
yeah,
should not be something you opt out of.
Right.
It's okay. We'll stay in the room right after somebody left. We'll clean it up.
Are you willing to lie in other people's filth?
Right.
Sure. Yeah.
Right.
I could see, I mean, they do like currently say, hey, they try to shame you into not using too many towels.
Yeah.
You know, put the towels that, if you're going to stay there for longer than a day or whatever, put the towels that you need washed on the floor. But we still think you're being kind of greedy with the water it's going to take to wash those. But anyway.
I know.
Hang up the ones that you'll reuse.
I know.
So is this actually a thing now or not?
Wall Street Journal just did a big story on the company called MCR Development, and they own 100 large hotels around the country. They're the fourth largest hotel operator in the U.S., and they said they've been testing out the a la carte business model. But I don't know where they've been testing it, so I don't know if, like, hey, we should go to New York because we can get hotels a la carte. So,
or if we can just go to, like, Stony Creek Inn or something down the street.
Yeah.
Right.
And maybe local hotel owners would be like, hey, maybe you should try this out. Have you ever been to the Elms? The Elms, right? In Excelsior Springs?
That sounds like a place, but no, I have not been.
Okay.
I have not been there. I acknowledge that I think that seems like a place that exists, but no, I have not been there, no.
Well, I like that you are confident in me not pulling out places that don't exist.
Yeah, just because I think I've heard of it.
I think they're supposed to be like a fancier hotel where they've got like a really nice spa and they've got really nice restaurant, like a really nice restaurant and maybe a cool bar.
They have a gentleman carry you from your room down to the bar or up from the bar, I guess would probably be the more appropriate.
They use the baggage carts. They wheel you from place to place.
Yeah. They should be doing that, yeah.
Right.
I guess if you saw someone passed out on one of those right now and someone pushing it, you might be worried that that's just a corpse. But yeah.
Nothing to see here. Go about your business.
Totally not a dead body.
No.
Yeah.
Just narcoleptic.
That's it.
Totally narcoleptic.
Right. Yeah. It's like, well, why are you suspiciously saying right? Yeah, a whole bunch.
Like a 40s gangster.
Yeah, it seems suspicious.
See?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just, they're supposed to be a fancier hotel. So maybe we could talk to them and be like, listen, I want the spa. So we could keep the price this way. But my husband doesn't want the spa. So only charges for one. Thanks.
One spa, one no spa.
Right. One bar, one no bar.
One no bar. Sorry, Monty.
Right? Because we know he'd have to bow out for that. No massage and no bar for you, Mont. You just get a bed to lay in. That's cool.
Oh, good old Mont. Love when you abbreviate his name.
I know.
How often do you go between calling him Monty versus Mont? It's almost always Mont when you're talking to him one-on-one.
When I'm... This sounds bad. When I'm sweet, a lot of times it's Mont.
Uh-huh.
Mont. Hey, Mont.
Okay.
Instead of like, Monty, what the hell? Or,
right.
Monty, do you love me?
It's not quite like you're saying his middle name, but it's kind of like that.
Oh, yeah. I middle name him when I'm sweet, too.
Oh, okay.
I don't middle name him. There's been a couple of times where I'm like, Monty John, but not like mean Monty John, like surprise. Like, Monty John, what?
Monty John say what?
Monty John, you're the sweetest. I don't think I give him enough credit. He is awesome.
No, he sounds pretty hot to me, Kate, from everything I've heard.
He's a delight.
A delight.
He's fantastic. He's my person.
Speaking of hotels and such, are you planning any vacations anytime soon?
We are. We're going to do a little Labor Day getaway, but we're not staying at a hotel. We're going to stay with some friends.
Oh, I was getting excited that you were going to camp or something.
Kind of. Like, we're supposed to go up in the mountains, and I think we're either camping in a camper or camping in a cabin.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I mean, Matt, this is a big step for me.
Pitch a tent, Kate.
I just don't want to.
Lay on the ground.
That's more like the idea of pitching a tent to me is worse than the idea of sleeping in a tent.
Oh, you're fine putting the tent up, but the going inside the tent to sleep is?
No, other way around.
You don't want to do the labor of...
I do not want to put a tent together. That part gives me anxiety. And can somebody else do this while, I forage for berries or something? Like, there's got to be other things that I can do besides putting the tent together.
Yeah, you go hunt, and then someone else will put the tent together. That would be great. I just picture you coming back with a couple of squirrels that you've killed with a slingshot or something.
Holding them by their tails.
Yeah.
Dinner's on me, kids.
Yep.
Oh, gosh.
Fire going.
We've been watching Naked and Afraid a lot in our house.
You have?
And when they talk about making shelters, I'm like, this is where I'd be worthless. I'd be like, I'd rather go down to the water and try to fish with my bare hands than try to put together a shelter.
Yeah, like they're digging a hole into a hill or something to make a little house in there or something.
Or like making a platform that they lay on so they're not on the ground and then they're covered. I'm like, golly, these naked people are architects. But they can't eat. It's not that they can't eat or drink. It's that they struggle to get food and clean water. So they've made these little, shelters, but then they like waste away in these shelters for 20 days. So
are they afraid? Do they seem afraid?
There are times when they are afraid. Yeah.
Sometimes, nope, they're just fine. They're not so afraid.
I mean, sometimes they're like, oh, those are just howling monkeys. We'll be okay. Or sometimes they're like, we haven't eaten in 3 days. It's going to be fine.
Is it typically a couple together or?
No, like they just meet for the first time.
Okay.
And then they're like, hey, you're naked. I'm naked.
Let's get afraid.
Let's survive. Yeah. I would die on that show.
Literally?
Literally.
You would perish.
I don't need to be naked to know that I'm going to die on that show. Like,
clothed and afraid and now dead.
I could be Bear Grylls style with boots on and be like, yeah, this is the part where I just lay down and die.
Oh, yeah, because if you're wearing boots and nothing else, you're not officially naked. Good point, Kate.
Right?
I think that's how that works. I don't know if you'd be able to get away with that, like if you started walking downtown St. Joe with no clothes on but had boots on. Actually, they might leave you alone. I don't know.
I mean, if you guys want to try that, let us know how it goes for science.
Yeah, some of the people I've seen downtown and get away with some interesting things, so maybe.
Yeah.
You should try it out, Kate, for the show.
Maybe naked is open to interpretation? I got boots on, so I'm not naked.
Yeah. Sure. I mean, maybe the right legal team could pull off that argument for you. Yeah. So you're going to try this for the show or not?
No. I mean, I've hit a pretty good plateau on my tan for the year, but there's lots of me that hasn't seen the sun, Matt. So
the tan lines are what you're concerned about?
No, I'm just saying, like, I've got the tan going on from the summer.
Yeah.
And I definitely don't want the parts that haven't seen the sun to see the sun now, because that's when you'd fry.
You immediately blister.
Yeah.
Like, oh, these parts of my body haven't seen the sun ever. And nope, there they go.
Yep. Boiled up.
On fire.
Yeah.
Boiled up. Gross.
Do you smell that? Yeah, that's roasting flesh.
Right. That's my buttocks on fire, literally.
Yep. That's one of the Naked and Afraid episodes that we watched. Like, this guy was a super survivor or survivalist or whatever. But in the first, 10 hours, he gets fried, sunburnt. And, the first 12 days, he can't do anything because he's so sunburnt. I'm like, where are we on that one?
Yeah, I was going to say, a survivalist, I think, would have the smarts to not let something so simple as a sunburn occur. Is there no trees? No place to hide?
Yeah, start making your ribbed palm tree tank top.
Yeah.
Cover your bits and pieces.
Or cover yourself up with mud or something. I mean,
right?
The other person on the show wasn't naked and sunburned.
She was. She had fashioned a bikini out of palm leaves and a hat, so she was not as burnt as he was.
Okay, so the premise of this show, because clearly I haven't watched it, is
I don't know how.
is they drop you off nude, but then you're able to fashion your own clothes?
I mean, out of resources there. You can, if you can make a bikini top out of palm leaves, get it, but you can't bring your own sports bra. Yeah,
what % of Naked and Afraid contestants? Are they contestants?
No, there's no check at the end. There's no cash. They just have to make it 21 days in this location.
And then you're on TV.
And
okay,
you got your stuff blurred out while you're trying to start a fire.
What % of people would you say on that show do fashion some kind of clothing out of whatever it is they've got around them?
Maybe 50%.
50?
Yeah, and it's usually the women.
Go figure.
Yeah, I know, right? Dudes are like, hey. I'm just kidding. They're not like that.
Hey.
Hey.
Helicopter.
Yeah. But for the most part, they blur out everything. Sometimes the butts don't get blurred. So
okay, well, there's that.
That's when the giggles happen in our house.
Is there a unrated version available, Kate? NC-17 version of Naked and Afraid?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Naked and Afraid, uncensored.
Naked and Afraid, unblurred.
You ever watch any of those old Jerry Springer tapes? You ever watch any of those?
I don't.
Uncensored?
They have them uncensored?
Currently. I don't currently, but back in high school, you could go to Blockbuster. For the unfamiliar, there used to be stores that you would go to and you give them money and they give you this physical thing that you then took back home, put into a device, and
Be Kind Rewind. Yeah.
You got to rewind, otherwise they're going to fine you. Yep.
Oh.
But they would have the Jerry Springer. That was about the same time that we watched Head of the Family. Remember Head of the Family?
Head of the Family.
Yeah, we talked about Head of the Family one day. It's a really bad, B movie, horror film where the head of the family is just a giant head that's got miniature hands on it.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's about the same era for us. That and also Faces of Death,
I mean, nothing was more thrilling than going to Blockbuster on a Friday night with all of those options to check out. And nothing was more disappointing than all the copies.
All the Faces of Death are checked out.
Well, this one's gone. We should have gotten here an hour ago.
Yeah.
Oh, Head of the Family. Gross.
Oh, but yeah, Jerry Springer Uncensored. That was always funny.
Oh.
Pretty good. And just as bad as it sounds. Or just as good as it sounds. I'll let you be the judge.
My mom didn't like us watching Jerry Springer.
Why?
After school. It was not appropriate.
Why not?
I know. So we'd watch it, and when she'd come in the room, we'd switch back over to Oprah. How you've got the button on the remote to...
Yeah, the back button.
Whatever the last channel was. Yeah. You could go, Jerry Springer, turn it down really low, and then when you'd hear her coming, you'd hit back, and you'd turn up Oprah.
So now I'm on the Jerry Springer Wikipedia.
Jerry.
That's right.
Jerry.
He's 77 now.
Good Lord.
Yeah, he grew up so fast. And then I forgot, he was mayor of Cincinnati for a year. And then when was the show? Let me see, Jerry Springer.
Can you imagine? He was mayor of Cincinnati before the show? After the show?
Yes, before the show.
I knew he had a career before.
Seems like the show started in 1991? Yeah, 1991 to, oh man, it ended not that long ago, July 26, 2018.
I don't think it got syndicated in 91, right? It wasn't everywhere in 91.
Let's see. The program was unsuccessful in ratings in its first season due to its focus on more political issues. This led to an overhaul of the structure, which by the 1990s led to the show as it is known now, filled with controversial topics such as incest and adultery, profanity, physical fights, and scantily clad guests.
Yeah. Oh, Jerry.
Doesn't say when did it get syndicated.
Can you imagine when he was mayor, if he'd be like, all right, let's talk about these issues we have in this meeting. And if you disagree with someone, feel free to throw a chair or, bring in your scorned ex-wife. And
27 seasons, Jerry Springer Show. It was pretty funny to watch.
It was. Because you just had never seen anything like that. You'd never seen people airing out their dirty laundry or fessing up to their dirty laundry, I guess.
Let's see. I searched for the word syndicated here, or syndicate, on the Wikipedia article to see when this started. 97, maybe?
Okay. I was thinking like right around then, like 96, 97 is when it came to Kansas, when we got to watch it.
Beginning in the 2000s, Springer would arrive on stage by sliding down a stripper pole.
Oh, God.
He then shook hands with some of the audience members, and afterward, the audience settled down. But at the end of the show, it was always so nice, right?
Right? He had a final message. But you know it's a good show, and I'm using those air quotes pretty loosely. You know it's a good show when your number one bodyguard, bouncer, security detail gets a spin-off show of his own.
Right. Steve?
Yeah. Right?
Bald security guard, yeah.
Yeah. Good old Steve.
Yeah. Steve was kind of cool.
Dr. Phil is post Jerry Springer, but Dr. Phil had has, I guess he's still on, there's some crazy stories coming on in the Dr. Phil show, but he's giving some psychological insight. He's trying to help these people, where Jerry's just tell us about the train wreck of your life. Come on. Let us look into your life and
then
judge you.
Tell you that the things that you knew were stupid before, that you were correct in thinking that way.
Right. Where Dr. Phil is hey, let's get you some help. Jerry's hey, let's ask questions.
Right. Fight. Go ahead.
Fight.
So it shows, I'm looking at this again, double checking, release, original network syndication, seasons 1 through 27. So it was syndicated from the get-go after all.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. 27 seasons?
Wasn't available in widescreen until 2012, though.
What the hell?
I know. Imagine we were talking about blurring body parts for Naked and Afraid. Imagine the more blurry things could have happened on Springer had there just been a little bit more space to the left and right of the non-widescreen frame back in the day.
I mean, TV has come a long way. When married couples slept in separate beds on TV, to strangers are naked, dropped off on an island, and sometimes their butts aren't blurred out.
And sometimes afraid. Well, there's a show. What's the show? Dude Island or something? What's the F-Boy Island?
I don't know. What?
F-Boy Island? Maybe.
What is that?
That may just be slang or something.
Did you just make it up?
Well, do you know what an F-Boy is, Kate? You can probably figure it out.
I can. I just didn't know that there was a show.
Oh, yeah, there is. F-Boy Island, HBO Max. It's an American dating reality television series which focuses on 3 women trying to identify 24 men as either womanizers or seeking a serious relationship.
Whoa.
F-Boy Island, Kate. So it was a thing. Well, this is exciting.
We both have HBO, and neither one of us have seen it, right?
Yeah, it's 'cause HBO has so many. HBO Max has too many things to watch, which I mean is typically a good problem, but
right.
It's hosted by Nikki Glazer. I think we talked about her before, right?
Yes. She's from Missouri.
That's right. Where's she from? Do you remember?
St. Louis area.
Oh, okay.
But I think she went to Mizzou.
University of Kansas, alma mater.
Shut your mouth. Are you serious?
Most times, and in particular this time too. Yeah, it's at least at Wikipedia.
Wiki, what?
Which is typically correct. Alma mater, University of Kansas.
Okay.
Born in Cincinnati, Ohio. Spent most of her childhood in St. Louis.
Okay. See, I didn't make up St. Louis. I was thinking like, maybe I made it up.
Briefly attended the University of Colorado Boulder before transferring to and graduating from the University of Kansas with a degree in... What do you think, Kate?
Communications.
English literature, Kate.
Hey! She's my sister in lit. What up, Nikki?
You guys should be friends.
We should be friends. She'd be my friend with a filthy mouth.
Yeah, no kidding.
That I would laugh at all the time. Because I like Nikki Glazer. I just like, whoa.
Yeah, it's a late night watch. Kids are in bed kind of situation.
Yeah.
So, F-Boy Island. Wikipedia points out that it's stylized as either F-Boy with every letter capitalized and no spaces between F and boy. Island, regular casing like you would expect. Or capital F, capital B, lowercase OY Island. Interesting that it goes by both names.
Interesting.
Wonder if are we supposed to pronounce it different? F-Boy Island. I mean, F-Boy Island or F-Boy Island.
Island?
Island.
Island?
So some good TV suggestions here on this edition of Matt and Kate. We got Naked and Afraid, F-Boy Island, Jerry Springer. Was there another one? You mentioned Bear Grylls, but...
yeah, and I think I mentioned Dr. Phil too, but...
Dr. Phil? That's some quality programming, yeah.
Probably.
I don't want Dr. Phil as my doctor. No, stay away from me.
No, yeah. I still like to hear what he has to say.
Don't you think he's kind of sketchy, though? Isn't he? It's kind of a sketchy doctor.
Is he?
I mean, it's not like he's going around saying, I'm a heart surgeon.
Right. I do love the tough love. I'm not going to lie.
What about the mustache, Kate?
I mean, I can't imagine him without it. I think it's a good look for his bald head.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I've always thought that if you're rocking a beard and you've got no hair on your head, it's just like you've reversed your hair. The hair instead of on the top of your head is now gone whoop and flipped down to the bottom of your head.
Well, like in a Dr. Phil situation, I feel like it's I'm going to prove to you I can grow some hair. Check this out.
Yeah.
Stash.
If you find yourself in a Dr. Phil situation, well, I don't have advice for you, really, actually.
Did you see Travis Kelce shaved his mustache? And, like, the internet exploded?
No. I kind of forgot that he had a mustache. Has he always had a mustache?
Yeah, last Saturday night. Well, he usually has a beard.
Oh, yeah, beard. I'm looking at photos of him now. Yeah, he usually has a beard.
Right. But last Saturday night at the pregame, it was just the stash. And it was hilarious. They're like, what's happening? It's like Mustache Monday. Why not? You know?
Oh, yeah, there he is.
And then he shaved it. And he looks like I don't know. He looks like he's the guy who is going to get your daughter home on time for curfew.
I was going to say, it looks like, yeah, he's like fresh out of college. Clean shaven. Yeah. Because I searched for Travis Kelce mustache, and it presents both the photo of him with like a visor on and the mustache, and then the photo of him completely clean shaven, and then photos with the beard also. Ah, look at that. What do you think, Kate? What should he do?
I mean, I was just starting to wonder if our generation is the mustache type or not. Like, are mustaches going to go away when like our parents' generation dies out?
I don't think so. I think they live on in almost like a comedic way.
You think so?
Well, I've told you before about my friend Kevin, who's a firefighter, right?
Right.
And he's had a series of pretty theatrical mustaches. And with a firefighter, you have to be able to create a seal against your face, for your oxygen.
Uh-huh.
And that's one of the reasons why firefighters have such cool facial hair. So they've got to basically sculpt it to accommodate their mask. So he's had some pretty cool handlebar style mustaches and stuff.
There's been a couple of times where I've asked Monty when it's time to shave the beard, after winter, like, can we shave it in like phases?
Okay.
To where you can't have like the thicker handlebar or the goatee. And he did like a very old-timey, like, it makes me think of like when the baseball players had those giant handlebar mustaches. And
oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Really baggy clothes, handlebar mustache.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and he does not like it when I take pictures. I'm like, come on, let's take a picture of that. And he's like, no.
Yeah, when I've grown my facial hair out before, when I cut it back, when I cut it down, I often hit the mustache last and kind of look at it in the mirror for 30 seconds probably and go, no. And then I shave off the rest of the mustache. I don't have the guts, Kate. Don't have the guts.
No.
Maybe I should grow some guts and do it.
With your facial hair.
With some facial hair, yeah.
Yeah. I just, the whole, like, I think beards are definitely in our generation.
Yeah, have been for a while.
And younger. But the straight up stash, like this that you're talking about in the visor where he's holding his shoulder pads, Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
It just makes me wonder if that is on its way out when our parents' generation dies.
I sure hope not. I mean, it's helpful that one of the best football players rocking a stash, but now it's gone, so it only lasted for a minute, so yeah.
My dad had a mustache, and I have only seen his upper lip in like pictures of his childhood. And I can't imagine my dad without a mustache, but at the same time, like, if Monty was rocking a mustache, I'd be like, are you sure about that? Like, let's get some beard in there.
Let's get some beard in there.
Yeah.
I'm sure if our generation is tapped out on mustaches, I'm sure one of the future generations will pick up the slack.
Bring back the stash.
Or maybe that's being foolhardy. Maybe that's being all like, the next generation will figure out climate change. And then turns out we never see a mustache again.
And just like that,
womp womp.
stashes are gone.